Alright, this video is intended to help you with your IXL V.10. So first one says, select all the expressions that are equivalent to 3 to the third times 2 to the third. So the first thing, hopefully, that you'll notice is your bases are different, but your exponents are the same. So because your exponents are the same, you can go ahead and multiply the bases. So we have 3 times 2, which is 6. You're going to keep that same power to the third. All right, the other thing we're going to need to be good with here is also our negative exponent property. So we've worked with that a little bit already. All right, but we need to make sure that we also know the equivalent version of 6 to the third as a negative exponent. And that would mean, since it's positive currently, if we put it in the denominator, then it would be 6 to the negative 3. Okay, so both those are equivalent expressions, but if we look at our options here, we only have 6 to the third. So there's only one correct answer for this one. Next one, select all the expressions that are equivalent to 10 to the fourth, and then that is raised to the 6th power. So power to power, that means you would multiply your exponents. So 4 times the 6 would give us 10 to the 24th. So we need to see everything else that would give us 10 to the 24th out of our answer choices. So we see that one's listed there. Here we have 10 to the 6th and then to the raised to the power 4. So still power to power. This would still equal 10 to the 24th. So this one's also equivalent. Here your bases are the same, multiplication. So that means you would add the exponent. So that would not be equivalent. Here, exponent is already 24. Your bases are different, so you can multiply them. Keep that same exponent. So that would be 10 to the 24th. So that one's also equivalent. So this one's going to have 3 of the choices selected. Next one, select all the expressions that are equivalent to 12 to the fourth divided by 4 to the fourth. So notice that your exponents are the same, but your bases are different. So do what the bases say. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. Keep the power of 4. All right, so that's one way we can write it. So this one would be correct. If we wrote that as a negative exponent, it would be 1 over 3 to the negative 4. So if we look at all the other options, nothing else would work. Okay, so just one solution. Next one, select all the expressions that are equivalent. Remember, equivalent meaning equal to 10 times 10 to the negative 1. Remember, this is 10 to the first times 10 to the negative 1. Bases are the same, so you can add your exponents. So it would be 10, 1 plus negative 1. Well, 1 plus negative 1 is 0. All right, so we see that's listed there, 10 to the 0 power. We also need to know our 0 exponent rule. Anything raised to the 0 power equals 1. So any number raised to the 0 power is always equivalent to 1. So that one's also true. All right, and then this one, we have 1 over 10 to the 0. Well, 10 to the 0 is 1. So 1 over 1 is also equivalent to 1. So this one would also work. All right, this one would be equivalent to 10 to the first power, which is equivalent to 10. So that one is not an answer choice. So we would have 3 choices selected here. Next one, 9 to the fourth times 6 to the fourth. So we have the same exponent, but different bases. So we would actually just multiply 9 times 6, which would give us 54. Keep the 4th power. All right, and we want to see what else is equivalent to that. All right, well, it's not 54 to the 16th. Here is a power to power. So this would also be equivalent to 54 to the 4th. And then we see that answer choice there. All right, it can't be written as this fraction, so if we write this one as a fraction, it would be 1 over 54 to the negative 4. All right, so it can't be that one. So just 2 choices for that one. Here, we have a power to power, so we want to multiply, so we have 6 to the negative 28. If we want to write that as a positive, it would be 1 over 6 to the positive 28. Okay, so we see that option, 6 to the negative 28. And then we also see it here written as a positive exponent in the denominator. So those would be our 2 answer choices. All right, next one. Bases are the same, exponents are different. We're dividing, so we're going to subtract. So we have 2, and it's 32 minus negative 1. Okay, so if we're doing the minus negative here, ends up being just adding. So 32 plus 1 would be 2 to the 33rd. All right, if we write that as a negative, it would be 1 over 2 to the negative 33rd. So if we look at our options, we see 2 to the 33rd, and it looks like that would be our only option. All right, last one here. Power to power. Thought I already did that one, so I went back and looked real quick. I don't see it, though. Power to power, so 10 to the negative 28, because 7 times negative 4. That could also be written as a positive exponent if we put it in the denominator, so 1 over 10 to the positive 28. So we see that as a choice. And then 10 to the negative 28 is not listed as a choice, so that would be our only answer. All right, so hopefully that helps you with your VDOT 10.